We are so constituted that we can gain intense pleasure only from the contrast, and only very little from the condition itself. In mourning it is the world which has become poor and empty, in melancholia it is the ego itself. Anatomy is destiny. How bold one gets when one is sure of being loved. America is the most grandiose experiment the world has seen, but I am afraid it is not going to be a success. It is a predisposition of human nature to consider an unpleasant idea untrue, and then it is easy to find arguments against it. Words and magic were in the beginning one and the same thing, and even today words retain much of their magical power. Civilized society is perpetually menaced with disintegration through this primary hostility of men towards one another. Conservatism, however, is too often a welcome excuse for lazy minds, loath to adapt themselves to fast-changing conditions. A religion, even if it calls itself a religion of love, must be hard and unloving to those who do not belong to it. The unconscious of one human being can react upon that of another without passing through the conscious. It is impossible to overlook the extent to which civilization is built up upon a renunciation of instinct. Where such men love they have no desire, and where they desire they cannot love. He who knows how to wait need make no concessions. Dream is the dreamer's own psychical act. I never want to belong to any club that would have someone like me as a member. Man has, as it were, become a kind of prosthetic god. Smoking is indispensable if one has nothing to kiss. That distortion of a text resembles a murder. The difficulty is not in perpetrating the deed, but in getting rid of its traces. The medical profession is justly conservative. Human life should not be considered as the proper material for wild experiments. The behavior of a human being in sexual matters is often a prototype for the whole of his other modes of reaction in life. Beauty has no obvious use, nor is there any clear cultural necessity for it. Yet civilization could not do without it. The intention that man should be happy is not in the plan of creation. Love and work are the cornerstones of our humanness. Loneliness and darkness have just robbed me of my valuables. Where it is, there shall ego be. The more the fruits of knowledge become accessible to men, the more widespread is the decline of religious belief. Men are more mortal than they think and far more immortal than they can imagine. The creative writer does the same as the child at play. He creates a world of fantasy which he takes very seriously. My love is something valuable to me which I ought not to throw away without reflection. Dreams are the royal road to the unconscious. The ego is not master in its own house. Men are strong so long as they represent a strong idea. They become powerless when they oppose it. I had thought about cocaine in a kind of daydream. Instinct of love toward an object demands a mastery to obtain it, and if a person feels they can't control the object or feel threatened by it, they act negatively toward it. Public self is a conditioned construct of the inner psychological self. Where questions of religion are concerned, people are guilty of every possible sort of dishonesty and intellectual misdemeanor. Love in the form of longing and deprivation lowers the self-regard. You wanted to kill your father in order to be your father yourself. Now you are your father, but a dead father. The liberty of the individual is no gift of civilization. It was greatest before there was an actual life. America is a mistake, a giant mistake. It is that we are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love, never so helplessly unhappy as when we have lost our loved object of its love.